Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Talking BizTech. I'm your host, Saqif, and today we are going to explore automated due diligence. But before we do that, I just want to thank the Content Studio, All Innovative Production, for making this happen. Um, they're called AIP, AI Production in short, and AI Production is currently working on their own website. So if you want to know more about the Content Studio, my website's URL will be in the description box. And make sure to contact me, and I'll be happy to help. Uh, Now back to the topic: automated due diligence. What is an automated due diligence? An automated approach to third party due diligence is a critical task mitigation tool to help employers avoid lawsuits, dismissal of a key personnel, eliminating a supplier or vendor, or even receiving a fine from government agencies. um, Automated due diligence can be in a broader categories. It can include relationship intelligence, and we'll get to explore that even more as we go. Relationship intelligence, however, provides visibility into the motives, conflicts, and strength of a team. Companies management tends to apply this insight to get the best of everyone's strength and build a cultural of resilient relationships that are responsive to challenges and opportunities. Leaders are able to work effectively with others and connect with your people's strategies, and also with your business objective to deliver your organization's brand promise. So, my guest for today's episode is Angela Parker. She is an account executive of a tech startup called Farret .ai. So, let me just go ahead and bring her on Talking Biz Tech. Hi, Angela.
Hi.
Thank you so much for your time. Um,
Great.
Angela, oh, promise. And Angela, before we dive into the Fair .ai, I just want to get to know you a little better, and I do this with all my guests. Um, can you tell me about yourself and your educational background?
Yeah, absolutely. So I graduated from SUNY Geneseo, which
Hmm.
is New York State's public honors college. I
Wow.
was very interested in international business
Hmm.
and wanted to go into international law.
Wow.
I actually worked for the UN though my senior year, and we published a legal paper on why the human rights tribunals had not taken place. And it
Mhm.
really taught me that if I'm going to change the world, I don't necessarily need to be working for an NGO or working as a human rights lawyer to make big changes, largely because so many systems are corrupt to start with.
Mhm.
So I went right into business in New York. I
Wow.
graduated and I had an incredible time. I left New York 5 years ago, but New York still has a piece of my heart. There's no city like it. I've
I
always been in
agree.
sales. I've also done projects with brand strategy, had some success as a commercial and runway model as well. So
Wow.
just an excellent city. And now I'm in Santa Monica, in working for a tech startup, and similar exciting energy here as well.
Wow, that is amazing. I just want to know if you like uh do you miss New York or do you like Santa Monica better?
Santa Monica is a great city.
I agree.
I will always miss New York. There's no other city on earth like it. The energy, for me, live music, and even being able to like even when I modeled, I never thought of that as a career or an opportunity. And even in creative industries like that, I feel like New York is just a mecca of talent and creative geniuses. When I lived in New York, this was, 10 years ago, and it was when there was just a massive frenzy for app creation. So I feel like most of the events, whether networking or just going out, everybody was inventing an app at that time. And
Oh, yeah,
so it's
that's
really
true.
interesting that over my professional career, that I'm now working for an app that I fully am behind and think is an incredible game changer for not just the professional world, but for the way that people go about knowing who they do business with.
Wow. We will touch base about that app that you're working on, and uh, Angela, you are an account executive of Fair.ai, like I mentioned at the start of this podcast. And also you do go to a lot. You do attend a lot of events. I just want to know what does a typical day look like for you?
Yeah, well, for me, I have to say that COVID still has affected meeting people, because most things I feel like are done through video conferencing, through whatever platform you choose.
Yeah.
But I spend a lot of time in the office. So I've got my electric bike behind me. I have
Wow.
a awesome little Australian Shepherd. I'm a dog mommy too. And I bike from my place into the office. We're, uh, we're located in downtown Santa Monica. So the commute into work is like a 5-minute bike ride on my super fun electric bike.
Wow.
And really, as soon as I'm here, we have investors that are awaiting our commercial launch of this app to use for themselves. And so they also are helping us get this adopted across whatever relationships they have.
Yeah.
So for me as an account executive, I'm really fully relationship based, and I'm enterprise. So the goal is creating a platform that um, is ready for adoption for large enterprise accounts, thinking how can this change the way that Airbnb currently does business and help them because of what we're offering that nobody else can. So I'm really the facilitator in those relationships.
Mhm.
I'm building them now. And then outside of that, just the adoption across our investors. Uh, I work primarily in the investor ecosystem. So on a given
Wow.
day, I'm demoing or having conversations or meeting for strategic partnerships overall with CPAs, lawyers, venture
Mhm.
capitalists, entrepreneurs themselves, entrepreneurial groups, organizations like YPO, um, and uh, and demoing the app and also getting their feedback because we are just launching beta right now.
Yes.
Um, so I have an idea of how I think people are using this based off of the feedback that they've given me. But right now, we're actually in an extremely exciting time because they're getting it in their hands and they're starting to use it and they're starting to
Music.
say, "This is incredible. I want this, but I want you to talk to my arm in Chicago, and Chicago is going to be ready for." 250 accounts as soon as you're able to turn on the commercial version, but I'm using it myself and I love it.
Wow. Wow. So it's I guess you're getting positive feedback for your beta version, and that's amazing. That's good to hear. Uh, Tell me, actually, one thing I love about you, and I actually wanted to add this, Angela, is that you're environmentally conscious. Because I myself is making short form content about climate change, more like either like a short film or a solution based video. I'm actually working on one where about the food waste and the supply chain disruption. I'm actually making a solution based video about that. So I would I would love to collaborate with you down the road. And it's amazing. It's interesting that you talked about your the bike, the electric bike. It's
Mhm.
actually getting you to so many places.
I
Um,
also just like biking,
oh,
but
you
I
love
am
biking, yes?
a huge conservationist, and I'm very passionate and open about ocean conservation.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yes, that is awesome. And if I ever make a social solution based video about the ocean cleanup or something somewhere around there, I would definitely reach out to you. And actually, my next question to you, Angela, was like, uh, how did you get involved in the like how did you start your entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship journey? um
I mean, the journey, I think, for every
yeah,
entrepreneur starts when you're a child, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
um, I come from a good family, but not a wealthy family, and anything that I wanted to do, music, dance, whatever, sports, if there was something that I needed or wanted to participate in, I was the girl selling the chocolate bars and the pies
Wow.
and the fruit club and like whatever. I feel like my neighbors saw me at their doorstep literally all the time, basically like helping me uh, make the sales I needed so that I could participate in all the activities that I wanted. I'm the oldest of seven kids. So,
Oh,
as you can imagine, our household expenses were probably a lot. So,
oh,
um, I've always just loved the creativity of it. But really, I
yeah,
think like what excites people is solving a problem, right? Like
yes,
thinking like,
yeah,
oh, okay, like I guess I believed so much in my basketball ability that I was like, these chocolate bars, everybody wants them.
yes.
So I think it probably started pretty young, but um, I would say that the overall interest to me is the solution that you're able to sell. And when that brings value to somebody else and they say, like, this is a game changer, thank you so much, that's really the heart feel of
Mhm.
behind what I do.
Oh yes, I agree with you. um I am, and actually, I would just want to thank you for sharing that. I am trying my best to be an entrepreneur down the road. I feel like I should keep making the solution based videos. It kind of provides more solutions to the problems that we are facing around the world. Um, I, I did talk about due diligence at in the start of this podcast. I want to hear your thoughts, and so my question will be that what is due diligence according to you?
So, due diligence is what you do in terms of background research on somebody or something so that you can make a sound decision.
Oh, okay, that is amazing. And I have a follow up question too. How does the due diligence link with relationship intelligence?
You want to know who you're doing business with. And,
I agree.
when you're in the business world, um, likely that if you have anything worthwhile, you're probably somebody's target, whether it's for fraud or scams or litigious activity.
No, yes.
And um, that is a huge pain point for most people. So when you think beyond, do I like this person? Is my gut telling me that this person has a good idea or that their character is honorable or I
Mhm.
would take a risk on this person? Right now, the only means that you really have to do that are meeting somebody and your own gut instincts, which are difficult to measure. Or you have the ability to go online and search in a search engine to see what you find. Or look at user generated content, what somebody says about them on themselves on LinkedIn or on social media sites. When doing business with somebody and performing due diligence on a relationship, um, uh, I believe our tool is the best thing available to be able to see exactly what somebody's past was,
Yeah.
and uh, and just know that, yeah, you know what, this is somebody that I would take a risk on because I've checked all these sources and I feel empowered.
That is correct. I agree. And I want to share this with my viewers. Basically, due diligence is also investigating into a certain topic or certain individual. Analysts can just wanted to add some points like analysts can spend more time analyzing the data and less time repeating the manual task. Um, I just want to know like how is Fair.ai helping businesses in United States of America or other countries too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is international data.
Yes.
Definitely a good point there. We help people because, number one, you're not reliant on user generated activity. But
Yeah.
let's say you wanted to find court cases on somebody, but then you
Yeah.
also wanted to see if there was a bankruptcy. But then you also want to see what corporate beneficial ownership records there are. What
Mhm.
businesses is this person involved in or fiduciary in?
Yeah.
But then I also want to see if they have licensing issues and is their license up to date? Have they been on a watch list? I want to check that. I also think that there might be an article about this person, but when I go online, I can't find the article that I thought existed. So to do that on one person, you would either kind of already be in a hot seat position with them that you are suspecting something and you want to confirm it. So you're going to go out to all these different avenues. Or you're in a position where you're like, I just met this person and, they've got a great startup and I want to invest in them, but I don't know anything about them. That venture capitalist right
Yeah.
now, they might have analysts and their analysts might be able to pull something up. But imagine if it was just in the palm of your hand and you didn't have to go to all these different platforms and put in search criteria on a watch list site and pay for that search, or put information in on a background search and get limited results available. Third is changing everything because our algorithms are designed to search with relevancy,
Hmm.
not to say whether or not this person, we're not making a decision on the person for you. We're just giving you the collected result of what we know people need to have all the information that they need that is not user generated to make decisions on whether or not they would do business with somebody.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense. So it's I guess the research is very important before before you collaborate with that certain individual. And are you currently working on any projects, or is there any global event that will happen? And if you want, I can also promote it on Streamyard.
Yeah, that's a fair question. In terms of events themselves,
Yeah,
that would be great. I think we're probably a couple years out from having a huge party like that. But
yeah.
we have a lot of traction in India. So when you look at how
Wow.
every country has different privacy concerns, or even
Yeah.
how their data is set up, the United States is completely apples to oranges to India, for example, that hasn't really put most of their citizens' information in an
Mhm.
easily accessible database. So the way that this is adopting in India, for example, is massive, 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 massive. Versus how it will adopt in the US, where it will be companies that aren't necessarily just looking to mitigate risk. They're looking to know signs of risk on
Mhm.
their users, on their platform, or their subscribers, or who they do business with. But it's more of a strategic fit to ease the pain of all the additional searches and platforms that need to be sifted through. If we do one thing the best here, it's that we're
Yes.
giving you everything in one easy application. In India, it's like the data itself is so powerful because it's helping to create a record based system that businesses definitely need. Um, Australia is also very supportive of AI endeavors. So we have a very nice office in Australia, and the app is being adopted there as well. But in terms of events, no. In terms of global presence, yes. And hopefully 2 years from now, we can have a big beach party is somewhere gorgeous and fun.
Oh wow! So I would to sum it up, it's just the global presence in India and Australia. Is that correct?
That is currently where we have offices.
Offices. Oh,
And
okay. Cool.
yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah, it's fine.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, no, congrats, and I hope Ferret AI. It's a great platform, and I hope it'll have the more global presence in other countries as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like I'm actually from Bangladesh, and it's a country beside India, and Bangladesh. There are a lot of tech startups happening in Bangladesh right now, and I believe Fair.ai can play a very important role in that area. And also, tell me more about the beta Ferret app. When are you planning to launch it? And when are you planning to launch like how long is this the beta version app happening?
So beta, we've been letting people onto the platform,
Hmm.
our investors and people that are eagerly awaiting this.
Hmm.
So people are coming on beta now. I would love to demo it to you so that you can see it.
Yeah.
We have a very long beta list, but because this is AI, the more people that are on the platform, the more that the machine learning will actually be able to return results when people are sharing information on whether or not the records were relevant to them. So our beta users are extremely important to us, and their feedback is extremely important to us too, particularly because the beta users that we have on are VCs and are people that are using this for sophisticated reasons. That is, we're currently in beta and making adjustments to design and to feedback.
Yeah.
The data, though, is what's impressing everybody. I would imagine probably in 3 months we'll be launching the commercial version.
Commercial.
I do want to say with pricing, beta is of course free because
Yeah.
the feedback that we're receiving is of greater value to us than
Oh
charging
yes.
cost would be.
Yeah.
But the app is only $15. And the feedback that I'm getting is people are saying, wow, I would pay $100 a month for this service. So that feels really good. And this isn't just for the investor ecosystem, right? Like you would run people through, it's relationship intelligence. So when you
Yes.
meet somebody new and they sound really promising, and you're like, great, yeah, like I'll meet you for lunch. I mean, what if that person was on a watch list or something that, might jeopardize your other business relationships, your own safety, your assets? I mean, whatever. There's a ton of value in just knowing who somebody is beyond a Google search or, a look at their LinkedIn page before you meet with them. Um, so, I would say the commercial version is probably launching in 3 months, but we're letting all types of users onto the platform between now and then, and looking for the stories of people that are saying like, yeah, I had a house cleaner, and you know, I, um, I you can't use it for hiring or firing decisions,
Yeah.
but certainly if you found out that somebody had committed fraud or a violent crime, and it wasn't even in the professional space that you were looking to avoid loss, it was in a personal situation, the value there is so immense.
Oh yes. Yes. Um, and like I just by talking to you, I'm actually learning a lot, and I'm actually gaining a tons of value from it. And thank you so much for sharing about the sharing me stuff about the commercial version, and I'm excited that it's coming in 3 months. Um, Angela, we're near the end. I have one last question for you. I just want to know your advice about a certain individual who wants to start the business development role in a tech startup. So, what advice would you give that to that person?
I think understand your product. Invest the time in understanding what the solution is that you're solving. And then I really believe that truth and money go to hand in hand. So if
Mhm.
you're solving a problem that
Yes.
really is relevant and you've really taken the time to listen to what people are saying about it, I think that business unfolds from there.
Yes, I agree, and it's a great advice that you gave. Um, I just want to thank you for coming to Talking BizTech and sharing your knowledge, your insight, and obviously the great advice. Love to have you on Talking BizTech again. There's so much I can learn from you, and I want to wish you and Fair.ai the best of luck, and best of luck with more global presence in other countries as well. So, Angela, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Saqif. Bye.
Oh, you're very welcome. And yeah, I'll just turn off your screen for now. Um, so, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to Talking Biz Tech. Do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more podcasts like this. I want to thank all Innovative Production for making this happen. And yeah, thank you again for tuning in and have a wonderful day. Bye.